Story 1. The Unexpected Visitor. After ending a 3-year romance, I found myself navigating the single life once more, residing solo in a modest apartment on the outskirts of Seattle. I'd been unattached for several weeks, dipping back into the world of dating apps like Bumble and Hinge. During those initial months, I'd connected with a handful of individuals, but nothing substantial had materialized. One evening, I matched with a woman named Sarah on Bumble. She shared her Instagram handle, but our interactions soon dwindled to her merely viewing my posts without any real engagement. This sort of fleeting connection was commonplace during my university days, but now approaching my early 30s, the superficiality of digital romance felt increasingly hollow and frustrating. My job as a financial analyst provided a comfortable income, yet the daily grind was utterly monotonous. Following my ex's departure, I initially relished the solitude and tranquility of my space. However, that excitement faded after just a few weeks. Perhaps I'm wired for companionship, or maybe the quiet simply amplified my loneliness. But isolation began to weigh heavily on me. This drove me to endlessly scroll through profiles and arrange outings, desperate for any excuse to escape the confines of my home. This incident unfolded last November. I uploaded a post on my Instagram story featuring autumn leaves and holiday vibes, and surprisingly, Sarah responded after weeks of silence. She initiated a chat about festive activities we could share, and from there, our conversation flowed naturally. I proposed classic seasonal outings like visiting a pumpkin patch or strolling through a holiday market adorned with lights. But she countered with the idea of setting up my holiday decorations together. I owned an artificial fir tree stored in the storage unit, so I admitted it wasn't assembled yet, as retrieving it alone was cumbersome. She eagerly offered to assist, and I thought, why not? We agreed she'd arrive around 8 p.m. that evening, when twilight had already settled in. With the plan set around 6:30 p.m., I rushed to prepare. I dashed to the nearby convenience store for a selection of craft beers and snacks, aiming to create a welcoming atmosphere. Upon returning, I tidied the living room, dusting surfaces and fluffing pillows, tasks my former partner had handled, revealing how swiftly clutter accumulates in solitude. As 8 p.m. approached, I positioned myself casually on the sofa, feigning relaxation while binge-watching a series, though internally anticipation buzzed through me. The room was dimly lit with soft lamps, fostering a cozy ambiance. Time ticked by and doubt crept in. I messaged her a gentle reminder. Let me know when you're heading over. By 8:45 p.m., I feared she might bail, a common disappointment in online dating. Finally, she replied that she was at the door. Opening it, I was taken aback by her stature. She towered over me by a few inches. At 5 feet 11 inches, she must have been around 6 feet 2 inches. Additionally, an intense floral fragrance enveloped her, almost overwhelming. We settled on the couch, and she positioned herself unusually close, our thighs brushing. This proximity stirred mixed emotions within me, curiosity mingled with unease. She appeared slightly more mature than her profile suggested, with a weathered edge that I couldn't quite pinpoint. Beneath the heavy scent of inexpensive cologne, a faint musty odor lingered, instantly diminishing my interest. To ease the awkwardness, I offered her a beer, which she accepted enthusiastically. As I fetched the drinks from the kitchen, I pondered our prior online exchanges. Meeting in person often shattered illusions, and this encounter felt disjointed, as if she missed subtle social signals. Returning with chilled bottles of IPA, we clinked glasses in a toast. Almost instantly, she jostled her drink, spilling a sizable splash onto my beige sectional. My heart sank. I suppressed a surge of irritation, assuring her it was fine while scrambling for a cloth and cleaner. Blotting the stain frantically, I masked my frustration with polite reassurances as she apologized profusely. The atmosphere grew strained, charged with unspoken tension. To shift the mood, I suggested retrieving the tree from storage. Climbing into the cramped unit, I maneuvered the oversized container filled with branches and stands, passing sections down to her. Each piece increased in size, culminating in the bulky base that I struggled with alone. She handled it effortlessly, reminding me of her imposing build. Once downstairs, we pieced it together in the corner of the living room, accompanied by a playlist of holiday tunes streaming softly. I refilled our beers, and as the alcohol warmed me, the initial discomfort eased slightly. Alcohol has a way of softening edges, making even awkward situations tolerable. With the tree erected, we moved to the ornaments stored in the basement closet. These were cherished relics from my youth, fragile glass baubles and handmade crafts passed down from family. Leaving Sarah upstairs to unwind, I descended to fetch the boxes. Midway through, a wave of dizziness hit me, as if the beer had amplified its effects disproportionately. I'm not a heavy drinker, so my tolerance is modest, but this felt excessive for the amount consumed. Hauling the first heavy bin upstairs, I called out for Sarah upon reaching the top, but she was nowhere in sight. Assuming she was freshening up, I scanned the rooms. The kitchen empty, bathroom vacant. Confusion mounted as I shouted her name repeatedly. I attempted to DM her on Instagram, but the message remained unread. Checking the spare rooms yielded nothing. She had vanished. Stunned, I wondered if my appearance or demeanor had repelled her, though truthfully, my attraction had waned as well. Collapsing onto the couch, an unnatural heaviness enveloped me, the cushions cradling me in exaggerated comfort. I vaguely recall glancing at my phone for responses, the TV droning in the background, until consciousness slipped away into oblivion. Awakening in pitch darkness, no lights, no screen glow. I sensed movement nearby. My body felt leaden, limbs unresponsive, but I fumbled for my phone beneath me. Illuminating the screen to check the time, the bright glow cast eerie shadows, outlining a towering figure looming directly before me. Panic surged, yet I remained silent, extinguishing the light to plunge the room back into black. Whispering, "Sarah," yielded no reply, heightening my terror. Mustering courage, I activated the flashlight, revealing Sarah standing motionless, gazing down at me. Paralyzed, whether from fear or whatever substance she'd likely spiked my drink with, I could barely murmur her name again. She pivoted abruptly toward the hallway, her footsteps thundering down the stairs in a frantic sprint, culminating in a resounding slam, presumably the front door. As clarity gradually returned, mobility improved. Checking Instagram confirmed she'd blocked me. Peering outside, only familiar vehicles lined the street. I'd never glimpsed her mode of arrival. Methodically searching my apartment, I discovered the theft. Every prescription bottle, vitamins, pain relievers from a recent injury, and even energy supplements from the kitchen cabinet. Gone. A half-empty bottle of whiskey from the pantry had also disappeared, but valuables like electronics remained untouched. Alarmed, I contacted the authorities, reporting the burglary. Providing her Instagram handle and alias, Sarah Thompson, proved futile without further details. Officers canvassed neighbors in the adjoining units, even at the late hour, but no one reported anomalies. They departed after documenting the incident, leaving me to secure locks and ponder her motives. Reflecting, her eccentric behavior from the outset now crystallized. Likely older than professed, possibly transient and battling addiction. The overpowering perfume masked underlying neglect, and she'd exploited my absence to drug my beverage, ransacking for pharmaceuticals. The haunting image of her silhouette etched in my mind, evoking vulnerability and dread. That year, the undecorated tree stood as a stark reminder. I avoided festivities altogether, haunted by the betrayal. Story 2. The Imposter at the Door. This chilling event occurred on New Year's Eve in 1995, when I was just 6 years old. As a Muslim family, we didn't observe Christmas, so the evening unfolded like any other. My father, a surgeon, often volunteered for shifts during Christian holidays, leaving him absent that night at the clinic. This meant my younger brother and I were home alone for the most part, with our mother present but unreliable due to her struggles with substance abuse. At such a tender age, I didn't comprehend addiction. I only knew she became unreachable after dusk, lost in deep slumber. We were lounging in the family room of our suburban home in Toronto, engrossed in cartoons on the television, when a firm rap echoed at the entrance. As the elder sibling, I approached cautiously. Our door featured frosted glass panels, allowing a glimpse of the visitor, a figure clad in a Santa Claus costume, clutching a sack, who grinned and beckoned me closer upon spotting me. I neared but kept the door latched, puzzled why this character would target our household amid the neighborhood. He called out cheerfully, "Hello there, young one. It's Santa here. Open up and I'll deliver your gifts." I retorted bluntly that Santa wasn't genuine, and even if he were, he didn't visit Muslim homes. His response shifted. "Of course I'm authentic. Traditionally, I've only stopped at certain families, but I've realized it's unfair to exclude others. This year, I'm including everyone." Skeptical, I grew agitated, insisting we receive gifts during Eid, not this holiday. His jovial facade crumbled, replaced by insistence. "Let me in now." Fear gripped me. I instructed my brother to call emergency services. The man fled as sirens wailed in my imagination, but we dialed 911 regardless. The dispatcher dismissed us, perhaps mistaking our panic for holiday excitement, sternly reminding that the line was for real crises before hanging up. Terrified and isolated, our ages 4 and 6 limited our options. We knew only home and emergency numbers. In the mid-90s, cell phones were rare, and we couldn't contact the clinic. With Mother unresponsive despite our shakes and pleas, we felt utterly defenseless. Praying for his departure, we huddled together, but soon Knox resumed, more aggressive. He taunted, "I know help isn't coming. Open or face consequences." My brother wept, dashing upstairs in vain to rouse Mother. Desperate, my childish logic kicked in. I gathered prayer candles from our shelf, ignited them, then extinguished quickly beneath the smoke alarm, wafting fumes upward. Miraculously, the detector blared, summoning aid without direct call. In hindsight, this risky act could have ignited disaster, but it worked. A nearby fire station dispatched responders swiftly. To our horror, the intruder lingered, intercepting the firefighters. He claimed paternity, explaining the costume as a festive surprise, lamenting locked keys in his outfit, pleading for entry to rescue us from the fire. He nearly convinced them. As they prepared to force the door, we screamed denials. "He's not our father. Dad's at work, and we don't celebrate this." Sobbing, I pointed to our prayer mat and Quran, emphasizing our faith. The lead firefighter paused, questioning Santa's presence at a non-celebrating home. The man's stammering excuses faltered. Subduing him, they summoned police while verifying our father's workplace. Officers arrived, detaining the imposter, and one remained until father returned. Briefed on the ordeal, he raged at Mother's inebriation, but overflowed with relief for our safety. Subsequent holidays passed uneventfully, a welcome normalcy. I believe our cultural identity thwarted greater harm. Yielding to that Santa might have sealed a tragic fate. Story 3. The Stranger in the Snow. In November 2021, my partner Sophia and I embarked on a romantic getaway to the Appalachian Mountains. We'd booked a charming cabin via Vrbo, festooned with holiday trimmings, boasting scenic vistas, expansive grounds, and proximity to a quaint town. Enhancing the magic, a forecasted blizzard promised a winter wonderland. We departed early from our urban apartment in Chicago, allotting time for supplies en route. The journey spanned roughly 5 hours with a pit stop at a discount store for essentials like pasta, vegetables, and desserts. Navigating the winding dirt path through dense forest, we arrived at the secluded retreat. Encircled by evergreens, it featured a spacious porch with a jacuzzi, ideal for snowy immersion. Festive accents dotted the yard, illuminated elves, a towering inflatable gingerbread man, and glowing garlands along the path. Unloading required multiple trips, but the interior matched photos. Warm, inviting, with a decorated pine in the den, wreaths on doors, and a faint pine aroma mingling with fresh linens. Though styled as a rustic lodge, it was comfortably modern. We claimed the master suite, stowing gear in an adjacent room. I routinely checked amenities, fridge stocked, smart TV with streaming services, views of snow-dusted trees. An upper loft housed a foosball table and seating, while the lower level was utilitarian. Dim, chilly, suited for utilities and storage rather than leisure. A sudden knock interrupted. Answering, I encountered a man in his mid-50s, dressed in faded jeans and a tattered green coat. He greeted warmly, "Howdy, hope you're settling in fine." Inquiring if he was the host, he clarified co-managing with his sibling. Introducing as Bill, he mentioned residing nearby for any needs. I expressed gratitude, noting he knew of Sophia's presence despite her absence from view, perhaps from prior host chats about our couple's escape. As night enveloped us in flurries, we boosted the thermostat and cooked our eclectic meal: grilled salmon, asparagus, rice, and muffins. Dining on the plush sectional, the tree's twinkling lights cast a serene hue as we streamed Elf, our favorite Yuletide film. Post-dinner, we ventured to the jacuzzi, activating yard illuminations. Soaking amid falling snow evoked pure serenity until the jets ceased, silence broken by distinct crunching steps nearby. Exchanging alarm glances, I whispered about calling out, but Sophia urged caution. The sounds receded, yet unease lingered. I dismissed it as wildlife, though intuition screamed human. Post-soak, our shower turned frigid abruptly, prompting a message to host Alex. He replied apologetically, promising a technician the next day. Midnight jolted us awake to furious pounding at the entrance. Sophia trembled, clutching me. I contemplated investigating, but her plea to remain hidden resonated with my own fear. 3 vehement barrages echoed before quietude. We barricaded the door, whispering theories, eventually succumbing to fitful rest. Morning brought messages to Alex about the disturbance. He expressed bewilderment, advising police contact if recurring, not comforting. Snow blanketed everything under overcast skies. Clearing my SUV, I spotted fresh tracks encircling the cabin, recent post-storm. Approaching steps revealed Bill. I mentioned the heater and knocks. Inspecting prints, he shrugged. Folks wander these parts at odd hours, but they're benign. He entered to examine the basement unit. Texting Alex about Bill's arrival, confusion ensued. Bill? My plumber? Clarifying as his brother, Alex denied any sibling. Panic surged. I urged Sophia to pack discreetly. We fled with essentials, glancing back to see Bill pursuing. Speeding away, we phoned Alex, demanding police involvement. He updated later. No trace of the intruder, no matching description. The realization chilled us. He'd surveilled from arrival, likely the nocturnal visitor. His motives unknown, our timely escape averted potential peril.